You've walked through the fire. You've embraced discomfort not as an enemy but as a teacher. You've chosen action over hesitation, movement over waiting, growth over comfort. And now, as you stand in the strength of everything you've built so far, there's one force that can either lift you higher or quietly pull you back down. That force is your voice. Not the one you speak out loud, but the one inside your head. The one that never stops talking. The one that tells you whether you're good enough, strong enough, ready enough. That voice shapes your reality more than anything else. Because confidence doesn't come from outside, it starts within. And every word you speak to yourself either builds you up or breaks you down. Think about it. When you face a challenge, what does your inner voice say? Does it encourage you, or does it criticize you before you've even tried? When you make a mistake, do you treat yourself with compassion, or do you punish yourself with words you would never dare say to someone else? Most people live their entire lives at war with themselves. They speak to themselves in ways they would never tolerate from anyone else. And yet, they wonder why they don't feel confident, why they hesitate, why they doubt, why they hold back. But here's the truth. You cannot speak negativity and feel power at the same time. You cannot call yourself weak and expect to feel strong. You cannot insult yourself and build unshakable belief. Your words create your world. And if your world feels small, uncertain, fragile, it may be time to change the language inside your mind, because confidence grows in soil where self-talk is kind, supportive, and empowering. It thrives when you speak to yourself like someone worth believing in, like someone who is capable, like someone who is becoming stronger every single day. So ask yourself, who are you speaking to when you talk to yourself? Are you your own worst enemy or your greatest ally? Do you tear yourself down with criticism, or do you lift yourself up with encouragement? If you want to build real lasting confidence, you must become your own source of support, not your own source of pressure, not your own judge, not your own jailer, but your own coach, your own motivator, your own reminder that you are growing, learning, and becoming. Start treating yourself like someone worth investing in. Speak to yourself like someone you deeply care about, because you are. Because you deserve the same kindness, patience, and understanding you freely give to others. And until you offer that to yourself, you will always struggle with deep, unwavering confidence. Every time you catch yourself slipping into self-criticism, pause. Ask yourself, would I say this to someone I love? If not, don't say it to yourself. Replace the words. Turn I'm not good enough into I'm getting better every day. Turn I can't do this into I'm learning how. Turn I failed into I'm growing. Your brain listens. It believes what you tell it. And if you keep feeding it messages of failure, weakness, and doubt, you will feel exactly that. But if you feed it courage, strength, and progress, you will begin to feel like someone who is unstoppable. This isn't just positive thinking. This is psychological training. This is how you build the foundation of unshakable confidence from the inside out. By choosing your words with intention, by shaping your thoughts with purpose, by building a relationship with yourself that lifts you higher instead of dragging you down. And once you start doing this consistently, something incredible happens. You stop needing validation from the outside world. You no longer rely on praise, approval, or perfect conditions to feel strong, because your foundation is already solid. It comes from within, from the words you speak to yourself in private, from the way you choose to interpret your setbacks, from the way you respond to your own struggles. Because confidence isn't just about how you show up in the world. It's about how you speak to yourself when no one else is watching. It's about the voice that whispers in your ear when you're alone. And if that voice is filled with doubt, fear, or judgment, it's time to change the conversation. Speak with strength. Speak with compassion. Speak with belief. Because every word you say to yourself is either building your power or weakening it. And right now, you have a choice. You can continue the old pattern of self-doubt, or you can begin a new one. One where you speak to yourself like someone destined for greatness. Someone who rises after every fall. Someone who walks through fire without breaking. Someone who doesn't wait for permission, doesn't fear discomfort, and doesn't let fear write their story. That person is you. And the moment you start speaking to yourself like it, that's when your confidence becomes unshakable. You speak to yourself like someone worth believing in. You've built that inner voice into your greatest source of strength, not your biggest obstacle. And now, as you stand in the power of everything you've created, your confidence, your identity, your relentless action, you need to face one of the most silent, dangerous thieves of all. Comparison. Yes, you've come far. You've embraced discomfort, taken bold action, and reshaped the way you see yourself. But there's still a trap waiting for you, one that doesn't announce itself with pain or fear, but sneaks in through your screen, your conversations, even your own thoughts. It whispers, look at them, look how far they've come, look how much better they are, you're not there yet. And just like that, the foundation you've built starts to tremble, not because of failure, not because of weakness, but because of comparison. Let this truth settle deep inside you. Confidence is not about being better than anyone else. It's about being better than you were yesterday. That's it. Not tomorrow, not next year, not when you finally catch up, right now. Every single day you have the chance to grow beyond who you were before. But here's what most people never realize. Comparison isn't just unhelpful, it's an illusion. Because no matter how far you go, there will always be someone ahead of you. Always someone with more success, more visibility, more recognition. And if you measure your progress against theirs, you'll always feel behind. That's not motivation. That's self-sabotage disguised as ambition. Real confidence doesn't look sideways. It looks forward. It focuses on your path, your pace, your purpose. It understands that every journey is unique, that timing is not universal, that growth is not linear, and that the only person you should be measuring yourself against is the version of you that existed yesterday. Because here's the thing, no one else has walked your road. No one else has faced your struggles. No one else has carried your history, your fears, your doubts. And yet, you expect yourself to arrive at the same destination at the same time as everyone else? That's not fair to you. And it's not how real growth works. Confidence comes from owning your story, from standing tall in your own lane, from refusing to let someone else's highlight reel dictate how you feel about your everyday life. Every time you compare yourself to others, you give away your power. You hand over your belief in yourself to someone else's timeline. You allow their success to define your worth. And that's not just limiting, it's heartbreaking. Because you are not here to live someone else's dream. You are here to live your own. So stop looking around. Stop scrolling through lives that aren't yours and wondering why yours doesn't feel enough. Enough talent, enough progress, enough value. Enough is not a number. It's not a level. It's not something you earn by reaching someone else's standard. Enough is a decision, a declaration, a mindset. You are already enough. Not when you reach some future goal. Not when you finally match up to someone else's image. Now. In this moment. With everything you are, everything you've done, and everything you're still becoming. And the more you protect your energy from comparison, the more space you create for real growth, for real confidence, for real momentum. Because when you stop wasting time measuring yourself against others, you free up your mind to focus on what truly matters. Your next step, your next win, your next breakthrough. You begin to ask better questions. Not why am I not there yet, but what can I learn today? Not how do I stack up, but how can I improve? And those questions change everything. They shift your focus from competition to creation, from envy to excellence, from insecurity to strength. This is how you build unshakable confidence. Not by chasing someone else's version of success, but by defining your own, by walking your own path with pride, by celebrating your own progress without apology. Because here's what most people don't understand. Confidence isn't loud. It doesn't need validation. It doesn't require attention. True confidence is quiet, steady, unmoved by the noise around it. It knows where it's going. It trusts its own rhythm. It respects its own journey, and so must you. Your path is yours alone. Own it. Protect it. Live it with pride. Because the moment you stop comparing yourself to others and start competing with the person you were yesterday, that's when your confidence becomes unbreakable. That's when you stop needing approval. That's when you stop fearing failure. That's when you stop doubting yourself. Because you know something now that most people never do. You don't need to be better than anyone else. You just need to keep becoming better than who you were before. And that, right there, is how you build a life of unstoppable confidence. You've stopped comparing yourself to others. You've stopped letting someone else's journey distract you from your own. You're no longer measuring your worth by the highlights of someone else's life. And that clarity has given you a strength you never knew you could feel. But now it's time to take that focus and channel it into something even more powerful. Something that will not only build your confidence but anchor it for life. Mastery. Yes, mastery. Because real confidence, the kind that doesn't waver when the world shakes, is not built on scattered efforts or random wins. It's built on depth, on skill, on relentless, focused dedication to becoming excellent at one thing. And once you do that, once you become truly great at something, you will never again question your ability to succeed. Because here's the truth, confidence isn't just about how you feel, it's about what you know. It's about standing in the unshakable knowledge that you are an expert, a force, a person who has earned their place through effort and persistence. That's what mastery gives you. Not just skill, but certainty. Deep, unbreakable belief in your own capability. Most people try a little of this, a little of that. They chase quick wins, easy fixes, overnight success. But they never go deep enough to truly own anything. And so their confidence remains fragile, dependent on external validation, always waiting for the next hit of approval or recognition. But you You're building something different, something permanent. You're choosing one path and walking it with everything you have. You're committing not to be good, but to be great. Not to dabble, but to dominate. Not to spread yourself thin, but to dig deep until you uncover the strength that comes from true expertise. Because when you master a skill, you don't just gain knowledge, you gain power. The kind of power that comes from knowing you can handle whatever comes your way. The kind of power that makes you walk differently, speak differently, live differently. And it starts with choice, one decision. To stop scattering your energy and start focusing it. To pick one thing and commit to it fully. No distractions, no excuses. Just relentless, daily progress toward excellence. This is not about talent. It's about discipline. It's about showing up when you don't feel like it. It's about grinding through the boring parts, pushing past frustration, staying committed long after the initial excitement fades. Because mastery doesn't happen in a flash. It happens in moments. In choices made over and over again. In hours spent practicing when no one is watching. In the quiet, consistent work that builds something unshakable inside you. And every step you take toward mastery strengthens your confidence in ways nothing else can. Every small improvement proves to yourself that you can grow. Every challenge overcome shows you that you are capable. Every obstacle passed tells you that you are becoming someone unstoppable. That's why the most confident people in the world aren't necessarily the loudest or the most charismatic. They're the ones who know their craft inside out, who don't need to prove themselves because their work already speaks for them, who walk into any room not because they crave attention, but because they know exactly what they bring. And that kind of confidence, it doesn't come from luck. It comes from choice, from commitment, from the decision to stop dabbling and start dedicating yourself to something greater than fleeting self-esteem. So ask yourself, what is the one thing you want to master? What is the skill that, if you became truly great at it, would change everything for you? What is the craft that, when you think about it, makes you feel alive? Whatever it is, own it, protect it, build it into your identity. Because when you do, something shifts. You no longer rely on outside validation to feel strong. You no longer let setbacks define you. You no longer question whether you're good enough. You simply are. Because you've proven it, not with words, not with dreams, but with action, with effort, with results. And once you reach that level of mastery, nothing, not fear, not failure, not even doubt, can ever shake you again. Because you know the truth. You didn't just talk about greatness, you became it. You are becoming someone unstoppable. Someone who doesn't wait for permission, who walks through discomfort like it's nothing, who speaks to yourself with strength and clarity. You've stopped comparing your journey to others and you're diving deep into mastery, into the kind of skill that builds unshakable confidence from the inside out. And now, there's one more truth you need to face. One more lesson that will solidify everything you've built so far. Mistakes don't define you, they refine you. Yes, you heard that right. Every mistake you've made, every failure you've faced, every time you've fallen short, it wasn't proof that you're not good enough. It was proof that you tried, that you showed up, that you dared to do something instead of standing on the sidelines. Because here's what most people never understand. Confident people aren't perfect. They fail, they mess up, they make decisions they later regret, but they don't let those moments break them. They use them as fuel, they own their mistakes, learn from them, and move forward with even more clarity than before. That's the difference between people who stay stuck and people who rise. One group hides from their failures, the other faces them head on. One group lets mistakes weaken their confidence, the other lets them strengthen it. So ask yourself, are you hiding from your mistakes or learning from them? Are you pretending they didn't happen? Are you beating yourself up over them? Or are you treating them like the lessons they are? Because every time you refuse to own a mistake, you give it power over you. Every time you deny it, you keep its grip on your mind. Every time you avoid facing it, you let it shape your belief that maybe you really aren't good enough. But when you choose to own it, when you look at it, accept it, and say this happened, and I'm not afraid of it, something shifts. You take back control. You strip the mistake of its fear factor. You stop letting it whisper lies in the dark and start using it as fuel for your next step. Confidence grows when you stop running from failure and start recovering from it. Think about the strongest people you know, the ones who walk into any room without hesitation, the ones who speak with authority, the ones who don't flinch under pressure. Do you think they've never failed? No, they failed plenty, probably more than you can imagine, but they don't carry their mistakes like weights. They carry them like tools. Every setback becomes a lesson. Every fall becomes a reset. Every failure becomes part of their foundation. And that's how they become unshakable. Because here's the thing, hiding your mistakes weakens confidence. Facing them strengthens it. When you admit what went wrong, You prove to yourself that you're not ruled by fear, that you're not afraid of being imperfect, that you're not afraid of being human. And when you do that, when you stand tall in your imperfection, you build something rare, something powerful. You build real self-belief, not based on flawless performance, but on the courage to keep going anyway. So stop punishing yourself for falling short. Stop waiting until you're perfect to believe in yourself. Because confidence isn't built in perfection. It's built in recovery. It's built in the moment after failure when you decide to try again. It's built in the quiet decision to keep going when giving up would be easier. It's built in the way you treat yourself after you mess up, not with judgment, but with growth. Because every mistake is a stepping stone, not a tombstone. Every failure is a teacher, not a sentence. And the more you embrace that truth, the stronger you become. So own your story. All of it. The wins, the losses, the highs, the lows. Because only when you stop fearing your past can you truly build your future. Only when you stop hiding your mistakes can you finally stop letting them hold you back. Only when you stop seeing failure as an ending and start seeing it as a beginning can you begin building the kind of confidence that no setback can ever shake. Because you are not defined by your mistakes. You are defined by what you do after them. And if you keep moving forward no matter what, you are already unstoppable. You own your mistakes. You've learned from them, grown through them, and used them to build something stronger than fear, something called resilience. You're no longer afraid of failure because you understand its purpose. It's not meant to stop you, it's meant to shape you. And with every step forward, you're becoming someone who doesn't just survive life, but thrives in it. But there's another silent force that can either protect your confidence or quietly drain it every single day. A force most people never even recognize until it's too late. Your boundaries. Yes, boundaries. Because confidence isn't just about how you show up for yourself. It's also about how you let others show up for you. And if you haven't learned how to set clear, unshakable limits on what you will and won't tolerate, then you're unknowingly giving away your power. Think about it. How often have you said yes when you wanted to say no? How many times have you stayed quiet instead of speaking up for what you deserve? How many times have you bent over backward to please someone else, even when it costs you your energy, your peace, or your truth? If you want unshakable confidence, you must learn this. Saying no is not weakness, it's strength. Protecting your time, your space, your energy, it's not selfishness, it's self-respect. Because here's the truth, you cannot build confidence while allowing others to walk all over you. You cannot grow strong while constantly sacrificing your needs for everyone else's. Confidence rises when you stand firm in who you are, not when you shrink to make others comfortable. And yet, so many people struggle with this. They confuse kindness with compliance. They mistake being nice with being powerless. They think that if they just keep giving, keep agreeing, keep going along, they'll finally be accepted, loved, respected. But real respect doesn't come from always saying yes. It comes from knowing your worth and refusing to let anyone forget it. Confidence lives in the moments when you choose yourself without apology, when you draw a line and hold it, when you speak up even when it's uncomfortable, when you walk away from situations that drain you instead of fuel you. That's when you begin to feel something shift inside you, a new kind of strength, a deep, unwavering belief that you are not here to be taken advantage of, not here to be overlooked, not here to be small. You are here to take up space, to stand tall in your truth, to live by your values. And that starts with setting boundaries, not as an act of rejection, but as an act of self-belief. Because every time you allow disrespect, every time you tolerate toxicity, every time you stay in a situation that drains your energy, you send a message. Not just to others, but to yourself. You tell yourself that your needs don't matter, that your peace is negotiable, that your voice isn't important, and that's exactly how confidence dies. Quietly, slowly, one compromise at a time. But when you start drawing lines, when you start protecting your energy with intention, you do something powerful. You prove to yourself that you matter, that your time matters, that your well-being is non-negotiable. And that belief, that unshakable sense of self-worth, becomes the foundation of everything else. So ask yourself, who are you tolerating that you should be distancing yourself from? What situations are draining your confidence instead of building it? What habits, relationships, or environments are making you feel smaller than you truly are? Because confidence grows where your energy is protected, where your values are honored, where your truth is spoken. And once you start living like that, once you start standing up for yourself without guilt, you'll notice something incredible happening. People begin to treat you differently, not because you demanded it, but because you modeled it. They see that you believe in yourself, so they start believing in you too. They realize that you won't settle for less, so they stop offering it. They understand that you value your time, so they start respecting it. That's the power of boundaries. They don't push people away. They attract the right ones. The ones who lift you up, who challenge you, who support your growth, who celebrate your strength instead of trying to diminish it. And those are the people who help your confidence rise higher than ever before. Because confidence isn't built in isolation. It's built in the company of those who reflect back the version of yourself you're striving to become. So protect your energy like it's the most valuable thing you have, because it is. Say no without guilt. Walk away without explanation. Speak up without hesitation, because the moment you decide that your peace is more important than approval, that your time is more valuable than obligation, that your truth is more powerful than silence, you cross into a new level of confidence, one that no one can shake, one that no setback can break, one that no person, no circumstance, no fear can ever take away. Because now, you're not just building confidence, you're defending it every single day. You've drawn your line. You've stood firm in your worth, protected your energy, and made it clear that confidence isn't just something you want. It's something you live every single day. You don't apologize for saying no. You don't hesitate before walking away from what drains you. You don't silence yourself to make others comfortable. You've built a life where your boundaries are respected, your voice is heard, and your strength is undeniable. But here's the next truth, one that will take everything you've built and push it even further. Confidence doesn't grow in isolation. It thrives in connection, in the company you keep, in the people who lift you higher, challenge you deeper, and remind you of who you are when you forget. Because as strong as you are on your own, there is power in environment, in the unseen force that shapes your thoughts, your habits, your beliefs. And if you truly want unshakable confidence, you must understand this. You rise to the level of your surroundings. That means the people you spend time with, the voices you let into your mind, the relationships you choose to invest in. They either build you up or hold you back. There is no middle ground. Every interaction either fuels your growth or slows it down. So ask yourself, who are you surrounding yourself with? Are they builders or are they breakers? Do they speak with purpose, vision, and belief, or do they complain, criticize, and drain your energy without even realizing it? Because here's what most people never admit. They stay stuck not because they lack talent or drive, but because they're surrounded by people who unknowingly keep them small. People who settle for less, who fear risk, who see dreams as fantasies instead of possibilities. And over time, that mindset becomes contagious. You start thinking smaller, playing safer, settling for comfort instead of chasing growth. But real confidence, true unbreakable confidence, doesn't grow in mediocrity. It grows in excellence. It rises in the presence of those who refuse to quit, who keep going when it gets hard, who believe in more, not just for themselves, but for everyone around them. So if you want to become someone unstoppable, you must surround yourself with people who already are. People who don't just talk about change, but create it. People who don't wait for permission, but take action. People who don't let setbacks define them, but use them as fuel, because confidence is contagious. When you stand among the bold, you begin to walk bolder. When you listen to the driven, you start thinking like them. When you spend time with those who refuse to give up, you stop considering it an option for yourself. That's why environment is everything. The people you let into your inner circle shape your identity more than you realize. Their energy becomes yours. Their mindset starts to influence yours. Their habits slowly become your habits. And once you understand that, you realize something powerful. You have control over this. You get to choose who you spend your time with, who you listen to, who you allow to speak into your life, who you let influence your thoughts, your decisions, your direction. So stop settling for relationships that weaken your confidence. Stop wasting time with people who bring you down, even if unintentionally. Stop letting negative voices drown out your own. Instead, seek out the ones who inspire you, who make you feel like anything is possible, who challenge you to be better, think bigger, act stronger. Because confidence multiplies in the right environment. It soars when you're surrounded by those who believe in your potential, even when you doubt it yourself. And here's the best part. When you start building that kind of life, when you start choosing your circle with intention, you become one of those people too, someone who lifts others, who pushes them forward, who reminds them of their strength when they forget it. Because confidence isn't meant to be kept, it's meant to be shared, it's meant to be passed on, it's meant to create a ripple effect that touches everyone in your orbit. So protect your space, elevate your circle, fill your world with people who reflect the version of yourself you're striving to become. Because the moment you do, something shifts. You stop needing motivation to move forward. You stop doubting whether you can succeed. You stop waiting for confidence to find you. Because now, you're living in the kind of environment that makes it impossible to feel anything less than unstoppable. And that, right there, is how you build a life of unshakable confidence. You are surrounded by builders now. People who rise with you, challenge you, and reflect back the strength you've worked so hard to build. You've set your boundaries. You've embraced discomfort. You've stopped comparing yourself to others and started mastering what matters most. You've owned your mistakes, learned from them, and kept moving forward. Because you understand that confidence isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. But here's a truth that will take everything you've built and push it even higher. Confidence doesn't just come from big wins or dramatic breakthroughs. It grows in the quiet moments, in the small, consistent actions you take every single day, in the choices no one else sees. Because real, unshakable confidence is built not on occasional effort, but on daily discipline. Think about it. What do you do every day that proves to yourself that you're serious about change? What habits reinforce the belief that you are becoming stronger, more capable, more unstoppable with every passing moment? Because here's the thing, confidence doesn't live in motivation. Motivation fades. Confidence lives in consistency, in showing up for yourself even when you don't feel like it, in doing the work even when no one is watching, in choosing growth over comfort, even when it's hard. That's why celebrating small wins is one of the most powerful tools you have. Not because they look impressive on paper, but because they prove something deeply personal. You are committed. You are capable. You are moving forward. So many people wait for massive results before they allow themselves to feel proud. They think confidence only comes after the big promotion, the dramatic transformation, the viral success. But by waiting for those rare moments, they miss out on the fuel that gets them there. The daily choices that build momentum, belief, and unstoppable energy. Every time you finish a task you didn't feel like doing, celebrate it. Every time you speak up instead of staying silent, acknowledge it. Every time you choose health over temptation, progress over procrastination, courage over fear, recognize it. Because these are not small things. They are proof that you are changing, that you are growing, that you are becoming someone who doesn't just talk about change, but lives it. Confidence builds through repetition, through the accumulation of tiny victories that add up to something bigger than any single moment. And the more you recognize those wins, the more your brain starts to believe in your own power. So start writing them down. Not just the ones everyone can see, but the ones only you know about. The early morning you showed up for your goals instead of hitting snooze, the difficult conversation you had instead of avoiding it, the boundary you held instead of giving in, the moment you chose to keep going instead of quitting. These are your building blocks. These are the moments that shape unshakable confidence. And here's another secret. Celebration is not just a reward, it's a trigger. When you acknowledge your progress, you release dopamine, the brain's natural motivator. You create a feedback loop where effort leads to recognition, which leads to more effort. It becomes self-sustaining. That's how you build momentum that never fades. By turning small wins into habits. By making celebration part of your daily routine. By proving to yourself again and again that you are capable of more than you once believed. This isn't about ego. It's about energy. It's about feeding your mind the evidence it needs to believe in your own strength. Because confidence doesn't grow in doubt, it grows in proof. And you're creating that proof every single day. So stop waiting for permission to feel proud. Stop waiting for some future version of yourself to finally be satisfied. Start recognizing the person you are right now, the one who keeps showing up, who keeps pushing forward, who refuses to give up, because every win counts, every step matters, every effort adds up. And if you keep going, if you keep acknowledging the progress you make, you'll reach a point where confidence isn't something you chase anymore. It becomes something you carry, something you live, something you are, because you've earned it. One small victory at a time. You are building something powerful. Every small win, every daily habit, every moment of discipline. You're stacking them like bricks, forming a foundation so strong that nothing can shake it. You've learned that confidence doesn't come from waiting for perfect conditions or massive breakthroughs. It's built through the quiet, consistent choices you make when no one is watching. But there's one more piece to this puzzle. One more force that, when harnessed correctly, will not only strengthen your confidence but anchor it for life. Your morning. Yes, your morning. Because how you start your day shapes everything that follows. It sets the tone. It determines your energy, your mindset, your level of control. And if you truly want unshakable confidence, you must understand this. Mornings don't just wake you up. They awaken who you are becoming. Think about it. What happens in the first hour after you open your eyes? Do you jump into your phone and let the world dictate your mood? Do you rush through the motions, barely present, already behind before the day has even begun? Or do you take a moment, your moment, to remind yourself of who you are, what you stand for, and where you're going? Because here's the truth. Confidence begins the moment you take control of your own energy. And the most powerful way to do that is by creating a morning routine that fuels you, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually. This isn't about perfection. It's about intention. It's about designing a few key moments each morning that remind you of your strength, your purpose, your power. Moments that prove to yourself right from the start that you are not someone who drifts through life. You are someone who leads it. That could mean movement. A few minutes of stretching, walking, or training. Not to burn calories, but to wake up your body and remind yourself that you are strong, that you are capable, that you are in control of your own energy. It could mean silence. Just 5 minutes of stillness, of deep breath, of grounding yourself in the present moment. Not thinking about yesterday's failures or tomorrow's fears, but anchoring yourself in today, in now, in the undeniable truth that you are here, and that is enough. It could mean reflection, writing down what you're grateful for, setting a clear intention for the day, repeating words that build belief instead of doubt. These aren't just habits, they're declarations. They shape how you see yourself and how you move through the world. And perhaps most importantly, it could mean boundaries. No distractions first thing, no scrolling, no emails, no noise, just time for you. To remember who you are before the world tries to tell you who you should be. Because confidence isn't built in chaos. It's built in structure, in clarity, in the moments when you choose yourself before anyone else. People with unshakable confidence don't wait for motivation to strike. They create momentum through routine, through ritual, through the simple, powerful act of starting their day on their own terms. And once you do that, once you claim your morning as your own, you begin to feel it. That quiet shift inside. That growing certainty that you are not at the mercy of your circumstances. You are shaping them. You are leading your life, not reacting to it. That's the power of a morning routine done right. It doesn't just wake you up, it wakes up your purpose, your drive, your belief in yourself. So ask yourself, are you starting your day in reaction or in intention? Are you letting the world pull you forward before you've even had a chance to ground yourself? Or are you taking a few moments to center, to breathe, to remind yourself of who you are? Because the way you begin determines the way you move forward. And if you want unshakable confidence, you must begin each day not as someone hoping for strength, but as someone who already carries it. So build your morning, own it, protect it. Let it be the foundation of everything else you create. Because when you do, you won't just feel more confident, you will be more confident. Every single day, you've built your morning into a moment of power, a time not just to wake up, but to awaken who you are becoming. Every small choice you make at the start of your day sets the tone for everything that follows. You've learned that confidence isn't just about how you respond to life, it's about how you lead it. And now there's one more force, one more daily practice, that will take everything you've built and push it even further. That force is vision. Not just dreams, not just wishes, but a clear, powerful image of the future self you're becoming. The version of you who has already won, who has already grown, who has already stepped into the fullness of who you were meant to be. Because here's what most people never understand. Confidence doesn't only come from looking back at what you've done. It comes from looking forward to who you're becoming and living as if that person already exists. Visualization is not fantasy, it's strategy. It's the quiet act of shaping your mind before you shape your world. Because when you see yourself as someone strong, capable, unstoppable, you begin to act like them. You speak like them. You move through challenges like them. You don't wait until you feel ready. You live as if you already are. So ask yourself, do you spend time with your future self? Or are you stuck in the cycle of reacting to today without ever stepping into tomorrow? Because real confidence lives in that space between who you are now and who you're choosing to become. And the more time you spend with your future self, the more clearly you see them, feel them, believe in them, the more you begin to align your actions with that vision. Every decision becomes clearer, every challenge feels smaller, every setback loses its grip on your belief. Because you already know who you're becoming. And nothing, not fear, not doubt, not even failure, can stop that version of you from existing. This is how high achievers stay grounded in uncertainty. They don't rely on external validation to feel strong. They don't wait for perfect conditions to take action. They walk through life guided by an internal compass, a deep unwavering connection to their highest self. They see the finish line, even when they're still at the starting block. And so can you. Because visualization doesn't require proof. It requires belief. It requires you to close your eyes and see the life you're building before it fully exists. To feel the emotions of success before the results arrive. To speak to yourself with the authority of someone who already knows their strength. That's why this practice is so powerful. It rewires your brain. It shifts your mindset. It builds confidence not from what you've done, but from what you're already in the process of creating. So take a moment. Close your eyes. Imagine the version of yourself who has already achieved what you're working toward. Who walks with certainty, who speaks with clarity, who faces every challenge with unshakable belief. What do they look like? How do they carry themselves? What do they say to themselves in moments of doubt? Now bring that energy into today, because confidence grows when you stop waiting to feel like the person you want to be and start acting like them now. Your future self is not some distant dream. They are the sum of every decision you make today, every boundary you hold, every lesson you learn, every step you take forward. And the more time you spend with them, the more you realize something incredible. You're not trying to become someone strong. You already are. You just have to keep seeing it, keep believing it, keep living like it. Because the moment you fully embrace your future self, not as a fantasy but as a direction, you unlock a level of confidence that no setback can shake. A confidence that doesn't depend on motivation because you already know who you are. A confidence that doesn't waver under pressure because you've already seen the finish line. A confidence that doesn't need approval because you are already leading your life with purpose. So keep visualizing, keep imagining. Keep stepping into the version of yourself that no longer doubts, no longer hesitates, no longer waits. Because that person is not far away. They are already within you, and every time you see them clearly, you bring them closer to reality. Until one day, you look back and realize they were never in the future. They were always in you. You've seen the version of yourself that already believes, already leads, already walks through life with unshakable confidence. You've spent time with that future self, not as a fantasy, but as a direction, as a daily practice, as proof that who you are becoming is already alive inside you. And now, it's time to take everything you've built, every lesson, every boundary, every small win, and bring it all together into one final truth. This is your moment, not someday, not when you're ready, not after you've fixed everything or waited for the perfect conditions, now. Because here's what most people never realize. Confidence doesn't grow in preparation. It grows in action, in the decision to begin. Even when you don't feel certain, even when fear is still whispering in your ear, even when you don't have all the answers. That decision, right there, is the beginning of everything. You've already done the work. You've changed the way you speak to yourself. You've embraced discomfort instead of avoiding it. You've stopped waiting for permission and started building your identity with intention. You've learned from failure, set boundaries, surrounded yourself with builders, and created rituals that fuel your strength. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are not too late. You are exactly where you need to be. Right now, with everything you need already inside you. All that's left is to believe it, to stop doubting whether you're good enough, strong enough, capable enough, and start acting like someone who knows they are. Because confidence isn't something you earn, it's something you choose, every single day, in every choice you make, in every step you take forward even when you want to stay still. And if you keep making that choice, if you keep stepping forward, you will reach a point where confidence no longer feels like something you chase. It becomes something you carry, something you live, something you are. So ask yourself, what is the next step? What is the one thing you've been putting off because you didn't feel ready? What is the action you've been avoiding because you were waiting for certainty? Take it now. Speak up. Send that message. Start that project. Set that boundary. Make that call. Do the thing that reminds you of your power, because confidence rises not from waiting, but from doing. From choosing courage over hesitation. From choosing belief over doubt. From choosing yourself again and again until it becomes second nature. And once you do that, once you take that first step without waiting for perfect conditions, you'll notice something shift. You won't feel afraid anymore. You won't feel uncertain. You won't feel like you're pretending. You'll just be someone who doesn't wait for confidence to arrive. Someone who creates it through action. Someone who doesn't just hope for change, but makes it happen. That's who you've become. And nothing, not fear, not failure, not even doubt, can ever take that from you. Because you've built something stronger than circumstance. You've built something deeper than motivation. You've built a life based on unshakable belief. And that belief starts with you. So don't wait. Don't hesitate. Don't hold back. Because this is your chapter, your transformation, your life. And the moment you decide to live it fully, with everything you've learned, everything you've grown, and everything you've become, that's when your confidence becomes permanent. That's when your story changes forever. That's when you become unstoppable.